I love the Chronicles of Narnia. People make fun of me all the time. I don't care. I love C.S. Lewis, and his imagery and his descriptions of Narnia make it come to life. Hey everyone, my name is Adam Cross, and today I would like to talk to you about the Chronicles of Narnia. So, I recently went on vacation with my wife for 2 weeks, and during vacation I read 2.5, I'm almost done, with the Chronicles of Narnia books. So I got to read Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, and The Last Battle, and those are like the last 3 of the 7 books. And what I've come to realize, I have a lot of friends in ministry and they make fun of me for being a Narnia nerd or anything like that. But what I've come to realize is that reading the Chronicles of Narnia refreshes my spirit. And it's kind of become a habit of mine every time I go on vacation. Especially if I go somewhere near the beach, I love to read Voyage of the Dawn Treader because it's, they're sailing on a ship on the Narnian seas and encountering these islands and these different things. But what I've found is that reading these books refreshes me in a pretty beautiful way. And I think it's almost kind of like a mini retreat at times. Chronicles of Narnia, you've probably heard of them, seen the movie, right? It starts off with in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is the first book written. It's the Pevensey children, right? Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy. They enter into Narnia through the wardrobe. And they encounter this entire world, really an entire universe that is Narnia in this wardrobe. And they encounter Aslan, right? And so Aslan is the great lion, right? He's not a tame lion, but he's a great lion. And as the stories unfold, the Pevenseys, they see that Aslan is sacrificing himself. He is the Christ figure in Narnia. He sacrifices himself for all of humanity and all of creation in Narnia to be saved from the evil witch. Right? And then he resurrects and he conquers evil. Right? And the Pevensey children, they become kings and queens of Narnia. So as the Narnia books go on in the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, 2 of them come back to Narnia. And throughout the books, you encounter Aslan, who is this ginormous lion that seems to grow as the children grow. So every time the children get bigger, Aslan gets bigger. And the thing that's really stuck out to me in reading the Narnia books this time is the awe and wonder of Aslan, right? That reading these books, using my imagination and picturing everything that's happening made me realize a few things. That we can easily put God into a box, right? Like God is this dude in a chair in heaven and he has a list of rules. Or, Jesus is my homie. Or, whatever it may be, we have this image of God that we, without knowing it, have confined him to, right? That we have connotations of what it means to have a heavenly father, or we have these concepts of who Jesus is, but they're limited. So reading Narnia reminded me that Aslan is always changing. Aslan is always bigger than what we can imagine God to be. And I love the image of Aslan because he's this giant lion. He is ferocious and scary, and he can eat people, and he can really maul you. And yet, in these books, right, he's gentle, and you get to go in for a big hug. Like they hug him and they hug his mane, and he kisses their foreheads, and but he roars at them. He shakes the earth. And I think this is such a beautiful image of Christ, because Christ is not tame. Christ is not in this box, right? He is so much bigger. And the second we think we know more about God, well, he's bigger than that, right? We're like, oh, I just defined you. Nope, he's bigger. And there's awe and wonder in that. And so these books, the Chronicles of Narnia, really sparked my imagination and really kind of developed that sense of wonder for God. That there is the awe and the fear of the Lord. that I think Aslan captures really well, because if you were in front of a lion the size of an elephant, you would be afraid, right? He could eat you in one gulp, and yet he's gentle. He's not tame. You can't control him, but he's gentle. And throughout these adventures in the Chronicles of Narnia, they are stories of people who lose their way, who lose faith, who forget their identity, forget who they are, and suffer and find their way. And it shows the beauty of how God makes beautiful things come out of terrible situations and suffering and even death. And Aslan as this terrifying in a good way because it shakes us, right? Lion is this beautiful image for Christ. Right? Christ is King of Kings, and we can't tame him. And he can make beautiful things come out of our suffering and our struggles and our crosses, just as he created the greatest good, right? The greatest sacrifice, right? Out of dying and suffering on the cross for us. Like, he can do that same for us. So if you've read the Narnia books as a child, if you've seen the movies, they're okay. The first one's good. But whatever, maybe pick them up. Maybe give them a look, right? Because they stir our imagination. They take God out of that box for us. They help us to realize that God is more and more. And that God is King of Kings, and he is working in our lives even though we don't see him all the time. There's a lot of hope for that. And our imaginations are great things. And they help us to grow closer to Christ, to have a better idea of, what? I've put God in that box. I've limited Christ in my life. I've limited what he can and cannot do. I've limited how I view him in helping me or being able to help me. And I need to get to know him more. Like, I need to get to know God more. And I also need to know what he's calling me to more in my life. I need to know what he expects of me. And that leads us to a deeper relationship with Christ. And that's the beauty of what is a children's book series that I've fallen head over heels for, and I'll probably keep reading very often. So pick up the books, watch the movies, whatever you want to do. But let yourself be childlike in that way, and let yourself imagine God as more than just a box that you've put him in. So thanks for watching. Please feel free to comment if you have a favorite moment in the Narnia books or anything like that. Feel free to comment. I'd love to have that discussion. And feel free to share these videos. If you have any other questions, shoot me an email, visit my website, and thank you for watching. God bless.